You wake up, reach for your phone. Blank screen. No notifications. No updates. No feed to scroll. It's not a glitch. Social media's just gone. Every app, every story, every follower vanished. For the first few hours, you're kind of relieved. Like that weird silence when the power goes out, oddly peaceful but off. Now imagine this isn't just you. It's everyone. Globally. For 30 straight days. The world's biggest distraction just hit pause. And what follows is surprisingly dramatic. The first 24 hours? Chaos. Not outward, not on the streets. But inside. Tiny panic attacks in people's thumbs. That unconscious flick, phone, tap, swipe, nothing. Psychologists call this phantom notification syndrome. It's real. Your brain craves micro-rewards from likes and reactions. Take that away suddenly? You trigger a sort of withdrawal. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that limiting social media to 30 minutes a day led to significant drops in anxiety and depression. Now imagine cutting it to zero. Cold turkey. By day 3, something funny starts happening. People begin looking around more. Like, literally lifting their heads. Small talk at cafes feels less forced. You make eye contact again and it's not terrifying. There's less pressure to curate moments and more freedom to just exist in them. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Eye contact becomes the new like. Conversations feel less transactional. That social comparison loop, the endless highlight reels, gets interrupted. People start wondering, was this what it felt like to live before? But of course, not everything's rosy. Businesses that depend on social platforms start sweating. Not because they can't sell, but because they can't see. No metrics, no engagement stats, no viral posts. And in a world where attention is currency, everyone's suddenly broke. So what happens next? Do people lose their minds? Does society start collapsing? Or does something unexpected take its place? Let's find out. By day 5, the cracks and clarity start showing. Without social media, the world begins to stretch time in weird ways. Mornings feel longer. Evenings slower. Not boring, just different. You're not scrambling to check DMs or chase trends. Instead, your mind starts wandering again like it used to on long bus rides or during boring classes. That inner monologue, once drowned out by memes and micro-dramas, starts speaking up. And for many, it's loud. Here's the psychological curveball. When you remove constant external validation, you're forced to generate it internally. That sounds deep, but really it just means you start asking questions like, do I actually like what I'm doing, or am I interesting without an audience? A little existential? Yes, but strangely refreshing too. The quiet forces reflection. And reflection? That's where real change starts sneaking in. Socially, the shift is even more fascinating. Without stories or reels to keep tabs on friends, people begin asking again. Like actually calling. Or meeting. Social circles shrink but deepen. You're not keeping up with 300 acquaintances anymore. You're talking to 5 people. But you're actually talking. There's a weird return to intentionality. Plans feel more genuine because there's no photo op pressure. Birthdays are celebrated, not posted. Vacations are taken, not broadcast. Life, for once, doesn't feel like a PR campaign. Physically, the difference is measurable. Screen time drops drastically. Some people report nearly 3 to 4 hours reclaimed daily. That's an entire part-time job worth of time people now have back. Many start sleeping better. Blue light is no longer frying their melatonin at 1 a.m. Even posture improves, no more hunching over phones like gremlins. And attention spans? Slowly starting to piece themselves back together. But here's the kicker, not everyone's thrilled. Influencers without platforms start panicking. Not just because income is paused, but because their identity was the platform. Imagine waking up and the thing you were known for just doesn't exist anymore. Who are you then? What do you do when the crowd's gone silent? Some adapt. Start blogs. Host workshops. Go analog. Others spiral. For the first time in a decade, there's no algorithm to chase, just your own voice. And by day 10, something starts bubbling under the surface. People aren't just surviving without social media. They're starting to enjoy it. But of course, it's never that simple. By day 15, a new kind of rhythm emerges. People are figuring it out. News? They're actually reading full articles again. Entertainment? It's back to streaming, books, podcasts, things that don't demand your constant interaction. Productivity? Surprisingly up. Offices report fewer mental fog days. Even universities start noticing better class focus and discussion. It's not that people became geniuses overnight, it's that their brains are no longer running on a diet of dopamine drip-fed distractions. And then boom. Around day 18, something strange happens. People stop asking when social media will come back. And that's the climax. Not the riots, not the economic panic, the collective forgetting. You stop reaching for your phone first thing in the morning. You stop thinking in captions. You stop checking the mirror wondering if something looks post-worthy. And this shift, it's deeper than detox. It's identity. Without the algorithm defining trends, you start defining what matters. Some people get creative again. Sketching, journaling, even writing letters. Others turn to forgotten hobbies, not for content, but for joy. There's a boom in local activity. Libraries start getting foot traffic. Small community events feel more crowded. Not because of FOMO, there's no one to post to, but because people want to be there. Real human curiosity takes the place of curated curiosity. But then comes the tension. The itch. Around day 21, whispers begin. What if it all comes back? What happens to this new way of life? Will everyone just fall back into old patterns? You can sense it. The pre-return anxiety. Like summer ending before school starts. A weird mix of dread and excitement. Some even prepare drafts. Saved captions. Photos they took just in case. They're not sure if they want it back or if they're scared to admit they don't. And while all of this is unfolding, companies behind the scenes are recalibrating. Ad budgets are frozen. Marketing teams are directionless. A whole economy built on grabbing your attention is suddenly grasping at nothing. They're watching as people wake up from a decade-long scroll-induced nap, unsure if they'll ever plug back in the same way. This isn't just a pause. It's a social and psychological reset. So when day 30 approaches, the question isn't what will come back. It's what if we don't want it to. Day 30 arrives. No countdown, no fanfare. Just a quiet flicker. The apps reappear. Just like that, the feed is back. But something's changed. People open them, but slower. Hesitant. Like stepping back into an old room you haven't visited in years. Some scroll a bit, smile at the familiar chaos, then lock their phones. Others jump right back in, posting updates, catching up. But this time, it doesn't feel the same. And that's the point. In those 30 days, something subtle but massive shifted. People got a taste of life without the constant commentary. And while not everyone stays unplugged, the way they use these platforms, how much, why, when it changes. For some, it's moderation. For others, it's a full breakup. But for nearly everyone, the algorithm doesn't feel as invincible anymore. The social pressure that once made you post every meal, every win, every filtered version of joy, it softens. People stop performing as much. Some even admit they liked the silence. That being unreachable for a while was a weird kind of peace. The brain fog? Less sticky now. The endless comparison loop? Muted. And maybe most importantly, people stop seeing themselves as content. They're just people again. So what did 30 days without social media really do? It reminded us that we were never meant to be constantly seen. That sometimes missing out is actually the best part. And that presence, real presence, isn't found through a screen. And yet, as the likes and stories start flooding in again, one question quietly lingers. If we did it once, could we do it again?